So I was lying on the floor sipping my pint of rum and questioning the nature of my existence the other night when I happened to catch a delightful parody of Doctor Who called Orphan 55. Featuring some goofy planks of wood, a reject from Cats, and a demented middle-aged woman doing a hilariously over-the-top impersonation of the Doctor. If you're looking for a good laugh, I can't recommend it enough.
No, Drinker, that's not a parody. That's an actual Doctor Who episode.
What the fuck are you doing in this video, sir? Also, that's preposterous.
Nope, that is literally what Doctor Who is now. They actually pay people to make this, with money extorted from the British citizen. I'm sorry, with money from the television license.
Fuck. It seems like Doctor Who just keeps finding new and inventive ways to subvert my expectations. I mean, Series 11 wasn't exactly cutting-edge science fiction, fun though it was being forcefully re-educated on such diverse topics as white men being racist, white men destroying the environment, white men being women for some reason, white men brutally dividing ethnic communities, white men being deadbeat dads, and of course, white men burning women alive because they're secretly gay. It didn't really push the envelope of what was possible, or inspire a sense of wonder and excitement in me. In fact, the only thing it did inspire was a burning desire to drink methylated spirits until I lost my eyesight. But maybe things would be different with Series 12. Maybe the writers would listen to audience feedback and tone down the insufferable political lectures. Maybe Jodie Whittaker would take a few shots of calm the fuck down and stop portraying the Doctor as a goofy hyperactive child. Maybe Yaz and Ryan would learn how to fucking act. But as it turns out, Doctor Who hasn't learned a single thing from its previous mistakes. In fact, it seems to treat its disastrous audience scores, massive fan defections, and collapsing ratings as some kind of heroic accomplishment. Great work, Chris. Keep it up. And the ultimate expression of this insanity is Orphan 55, quite possibly the worst 46 minutes I've experienced in my entire life. Well, apart from that time I did shots of toilet duck before a night out. Allow me to elaborate. So the episode kicks off on the bridge of the TARDIS, where the Doctor impersonator and her fam, that's the word we're using to describe the companions now, right? Fam.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Her gang of yes men are busy mopping the floors and cleaning up after a giant squid. Oh shit, I'm having Watchmen flashbacks again! Then Graham shambles in and he's all excited because he's found some gift vouchers for an all-inclusive holiday resort. Excellent stuff, we all like a good vacation, don't we? So he assembles them into a magical bullshit cube and the whole gang are instantly transported to a lovely vacation planet. Wait, what? So like all you do is put together a couple of gift vouchers and they'll instantly teleport you from any place and time in the universe? How? What's the range of these things? I mean, it doesn't just take Graham with it, it transports the Doctor impersonator and the rest of the yes men, sorry, fam, regardless of whether or not they wanted to go or even understood what was happening. That's fucking terrifying. What if you used one of these things in a crowded location like a subway train or a busy office building or a strip club where the bouncers are about to kick your ass because your credit card got declined again? Would they all be teleported with you just because they happen to be in the immediate vicinity? And how is this teleport system managed? Because the resort seems to have the capacity for maybe a couple of dozen guests at most. Is there anything to stop hundreds of people all teleporting in at the same time? Also, isn't the whole point of the TARDIS that it's kind of removed from the rest of the universe? Like, its interior exists in its own pocket dimension, precisely so people can't just teleport in and out whenever they feel like it? Nah, whatever. The script is like, nah, it'll be fine, because it needs the plot to happen. So they rock up on a really bland looking planet that I guess is supposed to be some insanely beautiful resort that can only be reached with the magical bullshit cubes. And my first thought was, why exactly is this place so exclusive? Like, I've been on holidays to Benidorm that look better than this fucking dump. So they're standing around like a bunch of planks wondering what to do next when they're met by what I guess is supposed to be the hotel concierge. Are you ready for this? What the fuck is this thing? I would love to be in the wardrobe department when this poor actress had to be kitted out for this role. I can just imagine the excitement and happiness draining out of her eyes when she looked in the mirror for the first time. Anyway, so Star Fox explains the magical bullshit cubes have saved their original location, so when they're finished at the resort, they can just teleport back to the exact place and time they left. I'm sure that won't be relevant later in the story, no need to keep it in mind. So the Yes Men split up to look around. Yaz interrupts a couple of old bed shitters that are about to get engaged, while Graham says he wants to lie down for a few hours and then head to the bar. Personally, I would hit the bar first and then lie down, but each to their own. Maybe old people just like to sit down or something. Or maybe Bradley Walsh just couldn't be arsed with this one. I love how we see him later and he's meant to be sunbathing, but for some reason he's still fully clothed. Zero fucks were given in the making of this episode, I can tell you that much. Anyway, Ryan the Plank goes to a vending machine to grab a snack, because, you know, why not, right? It's not like you're at the most exclusive luxury resort in the universe, specifically designed to cater to your every need and desire, which probably has access to delicacies the likes of which your mind could scarcely even imagine. Nah mate, you go to a vending machine and grab yourself a packet of prawn cocktail. Ya dick. Then Ryan the Plank gets infected with a magical bullshit virus that can transfer between machines and humans, which officially makes it the dumbest concept I've ever heard. And I've watched Batwoman.
Fuck.
But of course, the Doctor impersonator is on hand to cure him. And the cure somehow involves him sitting in a corner and sucking his thumb. I'm honestly starting to think the writers legitimately hate this show and the actors in it. And who can blame them, really? So Ryan the Plank is busy sucking his thumb when he runs into diverse female character. Diverse female character acts all shifty and spins some bullshit about being a hotel reviewer. Could she possibly have another reason for being here? Do you even care? Meanwhile, the Doctor impersonator puts the virus into the empty crisp packet. Now, I was a bit confused by this, so I reached out to my contact at the CDC to ask whether an unsealed packet of crisps is the best way to transport dangerous viral material capable of infecting both humans as well as inanimate objects. And their reply was swift and informative. Dear Critical Drinker, your question is both moronic and dangerous, and I will not be dignifying it with a response. Please don't contact me again, ever. Sincerely, Robert Thompson. Anyway, the Doctor impersonator gets Star Fox to let her into a hidden panic room in the hotel, where she runs into strong female character. Strong female character is both the manager of the hotel and also the chief of security, and I suppose she also handles the catering and evening entertainment since there only seems to be like 3 people working here. It's a total mystery to me how they kept the budget so low for this episode. Strong female character is concerned that there's been a breach in the force field around the hotel. Wait a second, why do you need a force field around a hotel? Well, stay tuned because all will be revealed. So then a bunch of rubber monsters get inside the hotel and start eating all the extras, because extras cost money and we can't have that. And to make matters worse, the bullshit virus disables the transporters and surveillance cameras. Wow, talk about bad timing, eh? It's almost like this whole thing was planned. Now, obviously the security people don't understand security, so the Doctor impersonator takes command of the situation and orders everyone into the panic room. But oh no, one of the bed shitters gets kidnapped by the rubber monsters, and according to his locator beacon, he's now outside the resort. Now, you might think that the loss of one old man would be treated as just another casualty in a generally bad situation, and the smart move now would be to sit tight in the panic room until help arrives. But no, apparently this guy's so fucking important that everyone else has to go after him, including the other bed shitter. I mean, why? She's like 100 years old and she can barely even walk or act. What use do you think someone like this is going to be in a rescue mission? Matter of fact, what use is anyone really? Ryan the Plank with his packet of prawn cocktail? Graham who couldn't give less of a shit if he tried? And what's Yaz gonna do? Arrest them? I'm no tactical expert, but wouldn't it make more sense to load up a truck with the 2 security guards and a bunch of guns, and maybe take the Doctor impersonator for backup? That way you've got a small, heavily armed group of skilled individuals that can move fast and mount an effective rescue attempt. But the script is like, nah, it'll be fine, because it needs to happen, basically. So they get in a truck and leave the resort, and it turns out the whole complex is a fakeation, designed to look like a lush planet from the inside, but everything outside the dome is a desolate wasteland where humans can't survive. A bit like Scunthorpe then. And somehow nobody's ever figured this out until now. Like, no guest ever decided to go for a walk outside the hotel perimeter and bumped into the wall. Anyway, it turns out the planet was rendered uninhabitable by war and climate change, so all the rich people bailed out, leaving everyone else behind to die. Those evil capitalists say. I can totally see why the highly educated, well-paid staff at the BBC hate ruling elites like this. Meanwhile, the resort was created to raise funds to terraform the planet and make it livable again. Really? You're gonna raise the money needed to undertake a massive project like planetary terraforming using a single hotel that holds about 20 guests at a time? I mean, I guess the vending machines keep the overheads down, but really?
Fuck.
But then the truck crashes, so the gang gets out to take a look around, and I couldn't stop laughing here because for a devastated nuclear wasteland, there seems to be an awful lot of trees in the background. But then the rubber monsters show up and Star Fox gets eaten. What a tragedy, I really loved that character. Meanwhile, the others retreat into a convenient service tunnel that leads back to the hotel. Wow, you never thought to seal that thing up? Isn't that kind of a flaw in your security? Nah, whatever. Anyway, strong female character explains that she mercy killed the bedshitter. Like, that's all we get. She just executed him off screen, so I guess he's dead now. What's an amazing screenplay. Then it's time to take a gentle stroll down Exposition Avenue. Diverse female character explains that her mother was a total asshole and abandoned her to work on the luxury resort. Now she doesn't even recognise her own daughter anymore. To be fair, can you really blame her? It's not like there's a strong family resemblance here. We also learn that Orphan 55 isn't just any old devastated planet, it's Earth. Earth in the future.
No way. Yes way.
The rubber monsters are actually the descendants of the people that got left behind, who adapted to the harsh environment, and they want to kill the remaining humans because, reasons. Anyway, then diverse female character unexpectedly teleports back to the resort with Ryan the Plank, leaving everyone else behind in the tunnel to get killed.
You bastard.
Diverse female character explains that she plans to blow the place up because she's still angry at strong female character for being a bad mum. What? You realise the resort you're about to blow up is paying for the planet to be terraformed, right? Your mum is literally working to save the entire world, and you're mad at her because she didn't play with you enough when you were a kid? Also, do you even realise what will happen if this plan actually goes ahead? The dome you're about to blow up is the only thing keeping you alive, you absolute spam sandwich. Meanwhile, in the tunnel, the rubber monsters are closing in on the Doctor impersonator and the Yes Men. Sorry, fam. But then the other bedshitter gets bored and dies off screen, and strong female character stays behind to buy time for the others to escape. The stage is now set for the final epic showdown. The Doctor impersonator conveniently remembers that the teleporters can return them to the TARDIS, but they need fuel to power up the system. And what's the one thing that can produce the fuel they need? Fucking shoot me. Meanwhile, Ryan and diverse female character try to hold off the rubber monsters while the Doctor impersonator powers up the prawn cocktail teleporter. And what do you think they might use as a barricade against these ferociously powerful creatures that can break through walls and tear human bodies limb from limb? Fucking great work, Ryan. Grab yourself a treat from the vending machine. You earned it, son. Anyway, imagine my shock when the barricade doesn't hold and the rubber monsters break in. So everyone retreats to the prawn cocktail teleporter, but oh no, there's not enough power to get everyone out. So diverse female character sacrifices herself to save the others. And I'm not kidding, there's a shot where she and Ryan look at each other and suck their thumbs, like this is some kind of cool gesture that symbolises the collective adversity they've been through. But really, it makes them look like they both have learning difficulties. Then strong female character shows up literally out of nowhere and holds off the rubber monsters long enough for the Doctor impersonator and the Yes Men, sorry, fam, to escape back to the TARDIS. Then everyone's feeling sad because they're stuck with the fucking Doctor impersonator again, so she gives what I can only describe as the most preachy, awkward, cringe-inducing lecture about the evils of pollution and global warming that any human being could possibly conjure up. It's like watching a Greta Thunberg speech performed by Tommy Wiseau on acid. And then the episode just kind of stops. Like, there's no resolution or final parting thought. It just kind of sputters to a halt. Like the writers couldn't think of a proper ending, so they just said, fuck it, don't care. And I think that sentiment pretty much sums up this whole embarrassing train wreck of an episode. A plot that's an inconsistent, illogical mess that basically relies on conveniences, coincidences, and contrivances to hold itself together. Fuck it, don't care. Characters whose motivations only make sense if you're a 4-year-old with brain damage. Fuck it, don't care. Monsters that look like rejected molds from Doom Eternal. Fuck it, don't care. A maintenance man and his son who have literally no purpose in the story? Fuck it, don't care. Actors that look like they have no idea why they're there or what's going on? Fuck it, don't care. Normally, when it comes to these reviews, it's pretty easy to pin down the source of the problems, the basic flaw from which all the other issues originate. But in this case, I can't do it, because basically everything about this episode is wrong. It's like some kind of masterclass in how not to tell a story. The script is so far beyond stupid, it practically redefines the fundamental nature of what stupidity is. The sets look cheap and sparsely populated, and it's painfully obvious that they recycled the same stretch of corridor to save on budget. The monsters are ridiculous, and the director doesn't even have the common sense to keep them hidden in the shadows. Nope, they're out there in broad daylight, as if they're actually proud of what they created here. You know, I was willing to overlook some of the more questionable performances when I reviewed Arachnids in the UK, but after watching this, I've come to the conclusion that nobody in this show can act. Tosin Cole and Mandeep Gill are total charisma vacuums without an ounce of ability between them. They're stiff and wooden, and their reactions are completely out of step with what's going on. I mentioned before that while Bradley Walsh was probably the best of the bunch, he looked kind of embarrassed and uncomfortable in Series 11, but now he's crossed straight over into no fucks given territory, and I fucking love him for it. You can tell he doesn't want to be there, and who can blame him? Just do the bare minimum and collect that paycheck, sir. The drinker approves. Then there's Jodie Whittaker doing her level best to impersonate the Doctor, but her best turns out to be a cheap carbon copy with no real identity of her own. She doesn't command the screen, she can't intimidate people, she has none of the Doctor's sharp intellect, resourceful wit, or dark brooding introspection. Yeah, she's got kind of a goofy hyperactive energy, but that's like taking the foam from your beer and pretending it's an entire drink all by itself. She's not helped by the atrocious writing that keeps trying to force her into the role of moral busybody, something the Doctor was never supposed to be. I just cannot reconcile this whiny, preachy, emotionally needy, arrogant and self-righteous idiot with one of the most awesome and unique characters in sci-fi. Ultimately, Orphan 55 is a cheap, lame, preachy, ridiculously contrived, horribly scripted, badly acted piece of trash that shames not just the legacy of Doctor Who, but the very concept of science fiction itself. It's a rushed and sloppy affair that feels like it only got made because they ran out of time and couldn't think of anything better. And really, I think that epitomises everything wrong with Doctor Who today. It's a show that's run out of creative steam, meaningful stories to tell, intriguing concepts to explore, or interesting things to say. A show fronted by actors without ability or enthusiasm, and headed up by talentless hacks who never understood the material to begin with. People who tried to hide their lack of skill and imagination by leaning heavily on present-day political and social issues. The problem is, you can only lean on shit like that for so long before public opinion shifts beneath you. But the biggest ball ache of this whole situation is that my license fee is funding this. I'm being held hostage to Doctor Who. I, the critical drinker, am literally being forced to bankroll this disastrous shite. And there's only one cure for this kind of ridiculousness. Break out the shot glasses, because it's gonna be a long night. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now!